Great seeing you here again. In this new video, we are going to look at what I call the missing link, and it's basically the link between the deliverables and the cost curve or the cost baseline. And it's very important to understand how these two are linked. So what we are going to do is linking the deliverables and the costs, and we're going to do that in different steps. First of all, I'm going to have a look at the schedule and the cost baseline. What are those? How do they link basically to the budget? And that's where, once we have the schedule and the cost baseline, we can in fact define what the missing link is. We're going to plan the deliverables over time, and then we're going to link the cost to those deliverables. So let's have a look at the schedule and the cost baseline. So what we are going to do here basically is that when we go back to our schedule, we were looking at that project schedule. We created the early start schedule, the late start schedule, and then we adjusted the start and the finish times of the activities. We call them the planned start and planned finish times. And that's results in the schedule baseline. So we have everything adjusted. We take into consideration, for example, overutilization of resources. We can deal with very long slack periods to reduce them because it gives us more flexibility in a special way, because we can still change things when we do the activities too early and we have to change something later on. It may lead to the fact that the work we did was basically useless. So that's the schedule baseline. And what we're going to do here is that we add the cost of the activities, which helps us or which creates the cost baseline. And the cost baseline will be the basis to conduct earned value management. It is clear that when we work on a project, changes may happen, or delays, or activities are going faster. So we may have to see how is this influencing the baseline. And we always have to be sure that we are comparing the performance of the project with the most recent baseline. So there are changes that are happening, but when we talk about changes, it means that we change the baseline. Delays due to or delays of the activities, it will not change the baseline. The baseline is still there. We didn't change anything to the project scope, but when we change the scope, we get basically new baselines. Now, when we look at the missing link, we have to consider here the different elements. When we create the cost curve, we created it starting from the schedule and the timing that we are planning to create the deliverables. So we have the overview of the schedule where the activities are linked to the deliverables, and on to this we are adding the costs. So we have the activities that are planned on the planned start time and the finishing at the planned finish time, and we can add the cost for these activities in the Gantt chart, which in fact relate to the cost that we plan to occur in the Gantt chart or the bar chart. We add the cost to these activities, and these are the costs to create the deliverables. And of course, those costs are spread over time, like the deliverables are spread over time. What we find here is the cost curve, but this cost curve has basically two types of information integrated in it. First of all, we have the schedule of the creation of the deliverables. What is the planning of the creation of the deliverables? We have that overview. We have the activities, and the activities lead to the deliverables. And of course, we add the cost there. So we also have the cost over time to create the deliverables. So we have those two information integrated in this curve. The missing link is that connection, is the link between the creation of the deliverables over time and the cost. And understanding that missing link will help you to better understand what earned value management or earned value analysis is basically doing. When we look first at the creation of the deliverables over time, we have a simple graph here. It's a simplified S-curve. It doesn't have the S form. It's a straight line. And what we are going to do here, what we are doing in this project, we're creating 10 widgets per time over 10 periods. So we are creating in total 100 widgets. That's the schedule information that we have. So these are the deliverables that we plan to create, expressed as deliverables. Every period we plan to create 10, and all work is completed at period 10 because we completed all the widgets. And of course, then we have a horizontal line, which I only draw there as a way of construction, just to show that after period 10, we don't create more widgets. So here the line is horizontal, and I will use that later to explain some principles of prediction and extrapolation. But just from that moment on, nothing is created anymore. The next thing is to link those these deliverables with the costs. So what we say, what we estimate is that a widget has an estimated cost at $2 per unit, and that gives us the cost curve. So we multiply the deliverables with the cost, and we find a new line, which now starts, of course, again from 0 up to the 10 or the 100 widgets, which is a total of $200. And those curves are basically linked because the green curve has the cost per widget over time, and the orange curve is just about the widgets. And you see that this line is basically containing two types of information. First of all, the estimated cost of the widgets and the planning of the widgets over time. So the PV, the planned value curve, has those two elements in one graph, and basically this green line also represents the schedule expressed in dollars and the cost related to this project also in dollars. And at the planning step, those two graphs coincide. What is the cost of the deliverables that I'm planning to create? What are the deliverables? Basically, they're linked. There's only one element, is the cost of the deliverables, which is integrated in this green curve. And what we will see is once we start working, something is going to change with that curve. We have, first of all, the curve of the planning of the widgets, and the second thing is the expected cost to create those widgets. So that's, first of all, the missing link that I wanted to introduce. It's a little bit, let's say, different than just mathematical. It's a kind of idea, principle, how it works, and it shows you that basically that green curve is the composition of two curves, the schedule information expressed in dollars and the cost information in dollars. And of course, at the end of the planning, both of them coincide. So that's it for this video. Thank you very much. I'm looking forward to seeing you in our next videos. Bye bye.